The 2026 Roots of Renewal Conference took place in January at the Montrose Pavilion Events Center in Montrose. The annual two-day agricultural event focused on soil health, regenerative practices, and business management. This year's event, hosted by the Valley Food Partnership and the Colorado Regenerative Network, featured daily keynote speakers, breakout sessions, and a number of ag-related vendors. KVNF Farm Friday attended this year's event, with KVNF's Brody Wilson conducting several interviews, including one with Penelope Powell, chair for the event's planning committee, and Friday's keynote speaker, Glenn Elzinga, a rancher from Central Idaho.
Good morning. I'm Brody Wilson here with KVNF, and I'm here joined by Penelope Powell. Penelope, can you please introduce yourself? Tell us who you are, what do you do, what's your connection with today's event?
Yeah, thanks, Brody. My name is Penelope Powell, and I'm the Executive Director with the Valley Food Partnership, and I'm here today, though, as the chair of the Roots of Renewal Planning Committee. So Roots of Renewal, this is a new branding for us. Last year we were Western Colorado Soil Health Food and Farm Forum, which everyone knows is a mouthful. So we're really excited to come under this new name, as it really represents what we're trying to do here of honoring our roots as well as honoring the path forward for agriculture.
Penelope, is there anything else that you think that people who weren't able to make it out today and maybe even aren't ag people that you'd like them to know about the event?
About the event itself, just know that the people who are feeding you do it out of a true love and passion, and they care so much about what they do, and they always are wanting to learn more and improve, and that's what they are here to do. And so I think one of the main things that non-ag folks can do is get to know their farmers, get to see where their food is coming from, but then to also know that every farmer, no matter how they produce, loves their land, loves their animals, and is doing it as a service to the community.
I love that. I guess the other thing I feel like when I come and I sit in some of the sessions here is, I guess growing up in the Uncompahgre Valley, I had a perception that farm and ag was a well-defined science. Sure, you could go to school to learn these things, but we've got this dialed. And when I was listening to our keynote this morning, it seems like there's hugely different and somewhat new ways of ag practices that are new, that are not well known, that are not widely practiced. Can you say a little bit about that? Because it seems like we're featuring some of those here.
Yeah, absolutely. That is certainly one of the things that we try and feature in our sessions are cutting edge research, as well as just ways that people are experimenting with how to improve their production as well as increase their profit margin. And I just, hearing you say that is like, well, that's the whole world, right? It's constantly evolving and we're constantly learning. And I do appreciate that we try and highlight some of that here.
Glenn, my name is Brody Wilson. It's a pleasure to meet you. You just finished giving a really inspiring. I've spoken with a couple people who felt inspired by your keynote presentation. Can you just introduce yourself? Tell us who you are. What do you do?
So Glenn Elzinga, I'm a rancher from Central Idaho, right in the middle of Rocky Mountains, Idaho, kind of up from Idaho Falls and Twin Falls out of the Snake River Plain, right in the middle of the Central Mountains. It's a beautiful area to ranch, but it's also a very complicated area to ranch because we are in the middle of some of the most premium habitat in the lower 48, and that includes things like wolves and a lot of the other top of the food chain predators and a lot of fantastic elk habitat, and that's right where we ranch. And I have a beautiful wife and 7 daughters that I've ranched with there for, it's been 32 years now. So,
will you just tell me a little bit about why do you do this? You're here speaking. You go to the East Coast. You talk with people. You've learned something, and that not a lot of other people do. Why are you doing it? What are you sharing? I don't know. Not a lot.
No, it's all right, Barry. I guess I do have a little bit of an axe to grind because I was brought up in an agricultural setting, and so is my wife, Carol. So we're both very passionate about people on the land, and we always kind of had a conventional mindset until after a college education, we started doing some various things, but then we started getting into, this guy, Wendell Berry, probably. I've read a lot of books by him. In fact, I'm reading The Unsettling of America again, and it was a book I read when it first came out in 1977. And it changed my whole view of the direction agriculture was going. And not everything is bad in conventional agriculture. There's some really fantastic stuff happening out there, but on the other hand, there's a lot of things that are problematic, and I think the heart of the problems can all come back to the soil that you just talked about. You just talked about this dock, hanging it up and potentially going down this road of soil, because the soil is our life. It's our foundation. It's from what we came, and it's the foundation of our whole existence, from food to, raising cattle to cycling carbon to cycling water. It's all these things. The soil is the reason we're even talking about climate change today, because it's not so much carbon, it's because we've broken the water cycle because of the way we've abused soil and the way we've treated it wrongly, and we've excluded life from that soil. So that's in itself a very passionate subject for me, because I have these kids. I got 7 daughters, right? And I got grandkids now. And I not only want to pass a legacy of hope to them, that they can continue being practitioners, but I also want to pass the hope to everyone that there is indeed hope in agriculture. And we don't got to throw the baby out with the bathwater and say, oh my gosh, let's build 20-story skyscrapers and put our cows there and save, on the land they're wasting and all this stuff. And let's put in more soy and more peas and more corn, and put in more monocultures, and use autonomous tractors to farm it all. And I think we just got to slow down and take a hard look at what we're doing and try to promote life rather than destroy it. Because that's what our soil husbandry has done in this country. We've destroyed life. We've destroyed the opportunity that soil could take care of itself and then take care of us. And that's why it's so important. It's important for my grandkids. It's important for their kids to have continuance of this ideal, because without it, we don't have food. And we don't have health. We don't have any wellness. And it's, Brody, it's why we have a wellness crisis in our country today. It's because we've lost the vision of raising nutrient-dense food on healthy soils. And it's why a carrot doesn't taste like a carrot anymore, and why a tomato doesn't taste like a tomato. It's why a steak doesn't taste like a steak. All those things are a result of soil husbandry, and we can change that.
I love this idea of building a legacy of hope for your family and other people in the world through soil husbandry. What a great message. Glenn, it's a real pleasure to meet you. I appreciate you taking the time to talk with us.
Fantastic,
Anything else you want to share with we have lots of young and burgeoning farmers who we know are listeners to KVNF. Small veggie growers, some small beef producers that graze on small pastures all throughout the valley. What would you like them to know and take away from what you've learned?
Keep going. Tenacity is the mother of invention and the mother of survival, because Carol and I, we had to be extremely tenacious to keep going. And to the people who are thinking about it and sitting on the fence and saying, man, agriculture seems like such a tough deal, and it seems so marginless, the land's expensive, and all these things. Well, anyway, we heard from 2 people today, myself and Janie Van Winkle, and we both started at a very similar level. She was on 5 acres with 20 cows. I was on 60 acres with 7 cows. Now we both have hundreds of cattle, and we're both very successful. We're both profitable ranchers, and we started just like they did, 30 or 40 years ago, and got the ball rolling and kept the ball rolling and kept that vision. And like one of our key points was stay frugal. Don't waste money, So, and that's the way Carol and I have lived all our lives. We've been just frugal because we stayed with the vision of seeing that soil bear the fruit that it can bear to bring us success, because it's in healthy soil that we have profitability, and that can change the vision and change the hope of all kinds of people who are just sitting on the fence saying, I don't know if I can do this. But you know what? You can't, but the soil can. All you got to do is make that happen.